do I get the goddamn invite button for him? I'm sorry.
See, Goat, this is why you should be here.
Okay, there we go. All right, have fun.
Coward.
I don't know why he doesn't want to be a part of this. It's very strange.
Because he's a big ball of awkwardness, and he can't take much more. This is not going to go well.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think we'll be fine.
As long as you take the lead.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's a good thing we got rid of all the porn.
The first thing he does is comment on the Mandalorian cosplay.
Yeah, so it's like he's paying attention to the chat.
Yeah,
like,
he's looking through. He's looking through.
That is some really cute Mandalorian cosplay.
I know, it's so fucking good. It's not only is it cute, it's just really good too. Like it's just solid.
Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna ask him if like with his last name, like is that a stage name? Did you get it from Witcher? Are you Victor?
Are you Victor of Rivia?
Yeah. Oh, I should unmute myself as I tell you this, Lundy. I'm gonna go take a pee and get some tea.
Okie dokie. I suppose we can roll with that. Damn, he's funny. Oh, god damn it. I don't like that he's supportive of my dumb jokes. I don't like that. Oh, damn it. Oh, boy. This is going to be fun. Goat's going to be fucking going through this audio to see when we get started, and it's just going to be fucking like a bunch of dead air and me just laughing to myself. I get the weird feeling that Lane goes like, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm going to say something really fucked up, and he's going to be very mad. And I don't want to make him mad. And he seems like a good dude.
Hey, sorry that took longer than I thought it would. I peed on myself, had to change my pants. I'm on fucking shrooms. You're really lucky. I'm so
You're
here.
lucky that I made it to the bathroom.
You're lucky I haven't wandered off into the night.
That's true. That's true. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting here with Victor alone. That would be fucking strange. All right, fair enough. All right.
They should have told Goat I peed myself. He would have gotten a laugh out of that.
Yeah.
But he'll have to listen to the episode. Also, you're lucky I remembered to actually get tea, too.
Oh, you got tea?
Yeah, so it wasn't just me peeing all over myself. It was mostly productive.
Best fucking thing to come into a call on.
Yeah, that was pretty right. That was good. That was good.
Welcome, Victor.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's surreal, honestly, because this is something that like we talked about ever since Zombieland 2 came out. Because one of our other friends went to see it, and he was like, guys. We're like, what? There is a doppelganger of Matt in Zombieland 2. And we're like, no, there isn't. And he showed us your picture, and we were like, what the fuck? He actually does look like Matt. So
that's amazing.
It was like a running joke for a little while. Like, we should get him on the show. We should just get him on the show. It'll be funny. We should just do it. And I'm like, nah, he's probably like got a busy schedule. He probably doesn't want to do something like this. Also, we're just a stupid, like, know nothing, like nameless podcast that like in the endless sea of like fucking bland white dudes doing podcasts. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But then your Twitter was pointed out to me. And I'm like, well, fine. I'll go ahead and shoot him a message. And then the next morning, I just see that you responded, and I'm like, wait a minute.
This wasn't supposed to happen.
This is not supposed to happen. I'm not supposed to actually get recognized by somebody. It's not a thing.
Well, I appreciate that you think I'm somebody. That means a lot. I'm not, but
you've done more than I have. That's for sure.
Well, maybe just a little bit. Well, Matt, we are the same, so.
I mean, yeah, that's literally part of the point of this. So
yeah, it's also weird because I pointed this out looking at your IMDb. We started the same year.
So Matt has always been doing YouTube stuff.
Love it.
And he got started in 2009, and according to IMDb, your first credit is also 2009.
Oh my gosh.
So it just gets weirder and weirder the more that we get into this.
Well, if we're going to go down that rabbit hole, on YouTube, there is a channel called Victor Chickney, which is chicken with the E and the N reversed. So Victor Chickney, one word. There's a bunch of stupid videos that I've done. So that goes before 2009. They're real dumb, but that's... If you want to like do a deep dive, then I just gave you all that Easter egg.
And that, trust me, we don't really mind all that much. That's if it's a really dumb, because that's our entire.
I wonder if I could trick my dumb audience into thinking if I just randomly upload one of those videos to my channel, like, hey, it's one of my last videos.
Well, I didn't get a beard until about 2015. So if you were clean shaven back in 2007.
Only that one time I lost the bet.
Yeah, that's true.
Matt, what bet? I'm very excited.
Oh, what was it again, Lundy?
Oh,
something dumb that I knew I would have lost.
You bet yourself that you wouldn't make another video about. I think it was either Happy Cabby or Brett Keane.
Oh yeah, it was one of those awful too.
And so just so you know, Victor, Matt is a boiling ball of hate.
No,
he thrives on it. And now, but there are like a couple people.
I only truly hate Brett.
Throughout the course of being on YouTube and being online, there have been a couple people who have just inspired Matt to just despise them as just people. One of them being a guy named Brett Keane, who has done a number of terrible things. I think the main thing that ended up screwing with Matt in general was when he used the suicide of one of their mutual acquaintances to essentially shame Matt as well as other people.
Oh my gosh.
And that was essentially the last straw for Matt, and so he just ended up making,
understandably
so many videos calling him out and saying any sort of thing that he could think of. And then he made a bet, because after 20 videos of him doing this, Matt was like, I have to make a bet with myself to not do this anymore, otherwise I'm never going to stop doing this. So he makes a bet saying, I'm not going to make another video on him, and then he makes another video on him, which results in him having
channel deletions.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because of how hard he went after him, and because this guy Brett was very notorious for copyright striking basically any channel or DMCA any channel that he wanted. Matt has gone through I think 10 different channels so far.
Oh my god!
No, you're lowballing that. It's 30-ish.
Oh, that's true.
Because
every single one has something to do with napalm.
It wasn't all just Brett. I went after the TFL really hard.
Oh yeah, the True Force Loneliness people. Yeah, that was the proto insult community. That was interesting. But it was a bet about that, and I think the bet was you were going to shave your beard and what was it? Eat Marmite?
Yeah, eat a spoonful of Marmite. There was also another. This wasn't connected to this bet, but there was another bet with Brett King where if I did a video on Brett, I'd smash my hand with a hammer.
Oh my god!
Did that?
You are devoted.
He's very devoted. Matt is a very genuine person, and I think that's one of the main reasons why we get along with him so well. Is that hell?
Well, that's the reason why. If anybody else did the things that I did to Brett, they'd be rightfully vilified. But unlike Brett, I never lied about shit. I was always on Front Street with why I did the things I did.
And I think the thing that makes me laugh the most is the fact that Matt will tell us stuff that we never need to know, just to let us know. You came in at exactly one of those times. Before you came in the first place, he's like, I'm going to be right back. I got to go get something to drink, and I got to go to the bathroom. So he goes to the bathroom, comes back, and he's like, all right, that took a little bit longer than I wanted it to because I ended up accidentally pissing on myself and I had to change my pants. I didn't even know that, but all right.
Thank you, Matt.
Look, I might just go through life in a miasma of pot smoke, but I try to, for the most part, except for, there are the times I wander off. Because
that's true.
I see a bird outside, and I'm like, "Oh, that's really pretty. I want to go look at the bird."
Oh, do you actually do that?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
A little less now because
all the time.
Because all the woods are being torn down around me now, so there's less places to wander.
I've been making this joke for a while that I really wish that we had just a GoPro and we just strapped it to Matt during the day, just to see what he does throughout the day.
I would say
he'll always come over to us with a weird story.
Yeah, I would say do that, but after half a bottle of Fireball, because that sounds amazing. I would watch that.
Oh, definitely, absolutely. I don't think Matt, have you ever done one of our podcasts without being on some sort of substance?
Yeah, a few.
Oh, okay, a few. All right, fair enough.
But see, I try to save my pot for when I do things like the pot because it makes me feel like I'm being productive as I'm smoking.
I see.
Yeah, defying the odds.
We have way too many strange stories when it comes to Matt. And I don't want this to be about Matt since you're here, because that's kind of the point of this. So I'm just gonna ask you just some questions. So we know that you guys started film wise in general around 2009, and YouTube you did a little bit earlier than that. So between then and now, just give me some sort of like a perspective as to like who you are, just like as a person, like stories from your life, things along those lines.
Sure. In 2009, I graduated high school, and I was in Raleigh, North Carolina during this. And
that's one state away from me.
Oh yeah, let's see. Are you Tennessee, Virginia, South Carolina?
I'm Virginian.
Or other? Okay, Virginian. Lundy, are you Virginian also?
Nah, I'm Pennsylvania. I'm right north of Matt.
Oh, how'd you guys meet?
Mostly online. We ended up connecting based off of like mutual acquaintances that we ended up having. The internet's weird like
we
that.
Can say it, Lundy.
It's beautiful.
We can say it because we're not the Nazis that came out of that community.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a whole lot of it. That's like a deep delve, though.
We met through the skeptic community before, the things happened. The dark time.
Oh boy,
that's deep lore stuff as far as YouTube is concerned. That's for the extremely online people who like have any idea what we're talking about on that front. Just briefly, there was a large period of time in which there was a large community on YouTube of people who got together just to essentially debate about religion and stuff like that. And after there weren't really that many like pro-Christian or pro-Muslim or whatever people to argue with, the anti-theist side essentially started to just eat itself as they started to understand that the only thing that united them is that they weren't religious. And so there was like a bunch of political divides, and we found out that some of them were like white supremacists, and we're like, wait a minute, this is not good.
That's not the whole kind of the purpose of that. No.
I'm glad I ejected from that community during the 9/11 mosque fucking fracas.
Oh, dear
oh my God.
I don't want to get into any of that.
Yeah, no. So back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I am also not a Nazi. Awesome. So I graduated high school in 2009, and then I actually went up to Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. And I was enrolled in their theater arts program. I am of the performance concentration, so that means just actor. And it was a lot of theater and stage work. And I was in the high country. You'd both appreciate this. They are the second Smoky Mountains. Because there's just nothing to do except smoke pot. But here's another fun thing. I've never partook, so I have never.
Really?
Yeah, despite our look, Matt. Despite
the aesthetic.
Despite the.
Well, I can't drink
quick story.
Because. Reasons.
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
Yeah, I hit rock bottom once.
Matt has
on the carpet.
Oh dear, he's had a lot of bad experiences with being drunk, and just in general, it turning him into a bad person, or at least an inconsiderate person.
Yeah, and then I sucked the moon sign out of the carpet, and it's like
out of the carpet. Oh my God!
Yeah, like I did.
When you suck the moonshine out of the carpet, that's about the time that you have to start thinking to yourself, "This is probably not good."
Exactly.
Yeah, because that was the moment where it's like, "This is something Barney Gumble would do."
Yep.
This is what a cartoon alcoholic would do. So I gave up booze.
How long has it been for you, sir?
Oh, long. Like I'm not one of those like sober people. I just don't do it anymore.
Matt doesn't keep track of it. Main reason is because he doesn't like feeling proud about anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that is admirable, Matt. Good job for you, sir. Quick side story about our look. So I was at my acting studio, and then I introduced 2 new students to like some of our classes, and then they were going through the halls, and across the hall from us is this music group, and they are notorious for being pot pig pens from Peanuts, where just underneath their doors, like you can see the fog machine of ganja coming out, and to the definitely just like a carpet bombing. And the 2 students, they were asking about the music group, asking if they were associated with our acting studio, and I went, "Oh, actually, no. But they're the reason for the loud smell in the hallway." And both of them went, "Oh my God, Victor, we thought it was you." Because of
they immediately look to you and your poofy hair and and your and the beard and everything. They're like, "Huh, you're not the reason."
Yeah, we thought you made it smell like pot, so we thought it was cool.
You obviously toke.
Victor is unintentionally promoting pot usage just by looking like he does.
That is a very stoner thing to do. It's like, oh, I didn't realize I fucking stunk up this place. I thought it always smelled like this.
It's very inconsiderate, but like it just never occurs to them.
My goodness, I'm so sorry. Not
on your part. Is what general stoners do is they just make places smell like pot, and they just don't even think about. They don't think twice about how.
That's very funny. Yeah. No, I was going with the joke, but that's even funnier. Which is also funny because I get cast as stoners. That's part of my typecast of looking like I don't give a shit about my appearance. Because Matt, we don't give shits about our appearance.
That's actually why I have the beard. It's like I don't care about shaving. Like, that's dumb.
You know how many like thousands of minutes that'll save me by the end of my lifetime? Exactly. I've had people say, "Oh my God, I love your beard," and then my response is, "I don't do anything. It literally just happens. So thank you."
Have you ever been mistaken for a woman from behind? Because that's happened to me numerous times.
Very funny, because of our voluptuous curves.
Well, also the hair, because I got super wavy hair.
So do I, my friend. So do I. Not necessarily a woman, but I served at a barbecue restaurant for about 2 years, and literally, I go up to my tables and ask if they need more refills or something, and they go, "Yes, ma'am." Oh my God, no! I'm sorry, you're a dude. Just because of.
So Matt has a rather infamous story about this thing happening. Is that I'll go ahead and let Matt tell the story because it is your story, Matt.
Well, it's not a long story. Basically, I went to the dollar store and I'm drunk because it sounds like a drunk napalm story because I was a belligerent. But this woman called me ma'am, and I was like, "Bitch, beard." And then that became the whole
she called
thing.
you ma'am more than once. Like, that was the main thing that was annoying you. Like, one ma'am is fine, but then she just kept saying ma'am, and you're just getting progressively more angry. As you're just like, "Bitch, look at me. I have a beard."
Yeah, that is not.
I look like 3 garbage bags stacked on top of each other. Like, come on.
That's very good.
Oh, shit. All right.
Like a snowman made out of trash.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Funny story about that real quick. I went to an industry party where my agency was, man, I sound like big shit, huh? My agency threw a summer, like, "Hey, we represent you" party. And their sister agency is actually a model agency. So I went to this summer party, and there are legitimate New York and LA models walking around, and they're 6'5" and thin as a rail and just gorgeous. And I'm looking around and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are legitimate Barbie dolls and Ken dolls. And I feel like a Beanie Baby filled with nacho cheese. That was that whole evening, but then I ate all the food.
That's the benefit of being a character actor, though, is that no one really gives a shit what you look like.
Yeah,
you can just eat whatever, like it's fine.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. So I ate all the free food because they didn't.
Well, it's got to go somewhere. Exactly. Better it goes down your gullet than in the trash can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better you use it instead of some model who's just gonna like hold it the entire party, pretending to eat it, just smelling it the whole time.
That's their sustenance. Yeah. No, I enjoyed all the sliders that I threw down my gullet.
Oh, I feel so fat. I sniffed this little cheeseburger for 3 hours yesterday.
Yeah. Oh.
So you graduated from college. You got your own agency.
Yeah,
that's bizarre to me. Is having the act of having an agency of people who are just like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get you work. It's like, oh, cool,
which is amazing, and I'm very thankful because they are one of the top 4 agencies in Atlanta. So this was 2013. I was at Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina, and then I took 2 years to do theater in Raleigh. And after 2 years, I was kind of burned out because at this point in time, I did 11 years straight of theater in North Carolina. And I sat down and I was like, all right, Victor, so you've done 11 years of theater. You're very good at theater. It's kind of not a challenge for you anymore. Look into your future. What do you see? And I was like, okay, if I continue down this path, I could just be the biggest theater actor in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I was like, all right, is that what you want to do? And I was like, no. So what do you want to do? So I want to do film work. I want to act in front of a camera, and I know absolutely nothing about how to do that. So this is a little bit rambly, but I knew that so everyone either went to New York or LA for film work. And I knew I could live in New York, but I didn't really want to. So I went to visit LA for about a week, and I knew I could live there, but I didn't want to. So then I actually found Atlanta. So in October of 2015, I moved down to Atlanta to start my new career path of being an on-camera actor.
That makes sense. There's a lot of stuff that gets shot down there.
Yeah, and this is...
Sorry, go ahead.
No. It was a new development because in North Carolina there was Wilmington on the coast, and that filmed a lot of stuff. But through political stuff, the tax incentives evaporated. So everyone from North Carolina went down to Georgia, and Florida and Louisiana all kind of came together to meet in the middle. And then Atlanta was this new market, and it was perfect timing.
So let's see. The first one that I have for you here is In the Hands of an Angry God. Now, I generally don't trust IMBD. Why do I keep reversing the B's and the B and the D's?
I am dyslexic, and I literally say that all the time. Like you said,
Goat's not here to berate you for it.
That's true. I said it earlier while we were going over it, and he's just like, "What the heck is the IMBD?"
Like a mean Catholic teacher just rapping your nails with the fucking ruler.
Because this website it'll just say like people who know each other are like half brothers or some shit like that. They'll have like 5 different people doing the same role for the same movie as people are just like doing guesswork. Like they just don't even watch the credits to see whether or not they're correct. They're just like, yeah, he looks like this guy, so it's probably him.
Why not?
So, In the Hands of an Angry God is the first one I have here,
Mm-hmm.
and then the latest one I have out here that isn't out yet, but is in post production is Half a Mile Out in the Night. Now, do you generally do what looks to be sort of like more independent type films?
Yes, right now I am doing indies. And the reason for that is at the beginning of your on-camera career, to do short films or student films, that's really good to build up a resume and to build up reel footage, because when you're straight out of college, then you will not get, unless you're some extraordinary case, you will not get a big TV or a big movie. So this is small baby steps to tangibly, like, actually within your control, build your resume and your reel.
I have to ask this question because it's something I've been curious about for a while.
Please, Lundy, go ahead.
How did you get to be a part of Zombieland 2?
Okay, so that is a very good question. So for Zombieland 2, this was an extraordinary case where at this point I'm within the agency that's one of the 4 big ones in Atlanta. I've been getting some roles, like I was in Good Girls, which was 2018, Taking Care of Business. That's episode 5 in season 1. It is on Netflix right now. It was done by NBC. I was employee number 1. I'm looking at my IMDb too.
You're refreshing your memory on everything that you've done.
Yeah, let's see, what shit have I done? So I had that one co-star credit, which was great. So I've been auditioning for co-stars, which is like 5 and under lines for TV shows. I've been doing a little bit of supporting roles on movies, which is like the lower stuff. It's not the leads. So I ended up getting this audition for, it is RPM Casting, who is out of Louisiana. Her name is Megan Lewis as the casting director. She has done 12 Years a Slave and First Man. So like actually one of the biggest casting directors in the market. She sent me the audition. I was unfortunately in North Carolina, so I couldn't do in person, which is like to do in-person auditions is pretty rare for TV and films. But so I couldn't do it, and I was like, shit, this would have been amazing, because Zombieland 2, like, it's been in works for over a decade. I would have loved to have done that. But at the bottom of the email, it's like, all right, if you can't do in person, there's a thing where you can self-tape. And for our market, like, most of everything is self-tape except for commercials, which I have a pretty extensive commercial thing, which you're not going to see on IBD, but I've done over 20 commercials in Atlanta, and it's amazing.
There was the one where you ate a sandwich.
Sir, you would, Matt.
Well, we had to look you up a little bit. We had to do a little bit of research.
I am enamored, guys. This means a lot, so thank you. Yes, that was the Cobblestone Bread Company, and I did 5 spots for them in one day in one of the McMansions up in the ritzier parts of Atlanta. That was amazing. That's a whole nother pile of stories. But So for self-tape, I was like, I'll do the self-tape and I'll submit it and we'll see what happens. And then the next day, I got an email going, hey, so we're actually doing another in-person session. So if you can make that. And I was like, oh my God, yeah. So then I went and did an in-person audition, and she seemed to like me, which was cool. But to keep myself sane, like, I don't hold on to any auditions. I don't go like, oh my God, I would really love to do this. Like, I audition, then forget. And then a couple days later, weeks later, I don't know, I got the opportunity for a callback. And the callback was amazing because it was in Pinewood Studios, which is South Atlanta, like about 35, 40 minutes south of Atlanta. And do you guys know why Pinewood Studios is really cool?
No.
So Pinewood Studios is where all of the Marvel movies are shot. So starting from Ant-Man, then all of them, well, pretty much all the Marvel movies, like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame and Black Panther, they all shot there. And they have been this behemoth of Atlanta, like the biggest budget Hollywood stuff. And in my first month of living in Atlanta, I actually did like all the touristy stuff. So I went to see the Georgia Aquarium and the CNN Center and stuff. But I drove the 40 minutes south to see Pinewood Studios. And like I drove by these huge warehouses, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's where Ant-Man and some of the other Marvel stuff was filmed. That's incredible. But I couldn't get to them because they were like gated off. So I went through the production center parking lot, and I was like, hey, this is a building that I can actually go into. Fast forward a couple years, and I literally have my callback for Zombieland 2 in that production center that I drove past. And it was with the casting director, but it was also with Ruben Fleischer, who did the first Zombieland. He also did Venom. And I was literally the first actor to show up at callbacks, but through their, like, they had their own order, then I was second to last to actually go. So I went into the room after almost 2 hours of waiting in the waiting room, and my character is Civil War bearded guy who is part of Babylon, who's this half hippie, half hipster commune, hippy dippy peace commune in love. And we had these scenes where they had us do the initial auditions and stuff. And Ruben was there sitting at a desk, and he looked up and he went, "Oh, wow, Victor, hey, we've heard great things about you. So come on in. We're excited to see what you're going to bring." And at this point, I'm like, my brain is malfunctioning because this is incredible. This is literally him. He looks tired because he's been filming already. It started in early January, even maybe late December. And then it wouldn't end up wrapping until like late March, early April. So I walk in, and then I do my first scene, and it's like really short. And then after that, he was kind of looking down at his table, and then he looked up. He was like, "Was that it?" And then I was like, "Yeah, that's it for the first scene." He's like, "I was so engrossed that I didn't even." It was so fast.
What a compliment! Oh dear God! I was so invested. I wanted to see more.
I'm like,
that
all
is
right.
An ego stroke and a half.
Dude, in a market where you hear so many no's, or even worse, just you never hear back from an audition, like, to hear that instant feedback was like, oh my gosh. Like,
it's like, what's your game here? Where's the camera?
Yeah. What do you want, Ruben?
Bring Ashton Kutcher out.
Yeah. Are you going to punk me? This Zombieland 2 is not actually happening, is it, you sons of bitches?
Yeah, this is all just, I'll be honest, like, earlier when nobody was showing up, because weirdly enough, the fucking stoner was the one who showed up 10 minutes early. I started to think, like, is this a joke? Because Lundy, like, that motherfucker was a part of the salmon bullshit. I wouldn't put this past him. He faked all the screenshots.
I didn't do any of that.
There isn't even a Victor.
The only thing that I did is I said that you ate salmon that one night. That's it. That's all I did. I didn't fake screenshots. That was other people.
Long dumb story short, a bunch of these pricks gaslit me into thinking I ate salmon. And
that's not even that big of a thing.
It never actually worked though, because what was it? You knew so much that you didn't, and you knew so much what we were doing, so you carved salmon into your desk with a knife, just to remind yourself to never believe the salmon.
Memento. Yeah. The salmon is a lie. That's
fun
hilarious.
Thing is, he always knew that we were like fucking with him about the salmon thing, but like it wasn't until I want to say sometime last year. We were like
broke character on it.
Yeah, we were like reminiscing about like the old times, and I brought up the salmon story. And the thing is that Matt was doing one of his like wandering off doing random stuff things. So I didn't know that he was still in the room. So he sits down, he hears me talking about the salmon story, and I'm just like, yeah. So we, the long story short, we tried to make Matt believe that he ate salmon for one night when he left, and he just goes, "I fucking knew it!"
It's amazing.
Punching his desk is something that Matt does often.
I love it.
He's a very passionate man.
I need to hear more of that during this podcast. Which, as an outsider, convincing someone that they ate salmon one time for one night, that's small beans.
It is, but because of who Matt is and because of how suspicious he is of everybody in general, like Matt doesn't like when people give him compliments about anything. He just
because long story short, I had a really bad upbringing, really sad, and I should honestly probably be one of those awful Nazi people because of what happened. But I rose above that and became a better person. But
however,
I also have I have a lot of baggage, a lot of trust issues.
So just even though it wasn't really like a huge deal that we were doing that, the fact that we did do that, and the fact that he has trust issues to begin with, is something that messed with him for a decent while. And it was strange to me how like mad he got when I sort of broke character after a while, because it had been something that we did like 3 years prior. It was back in like 2015 that we did this. So I didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but he was like, I have been waiting for you to admit it.
Hey, good for you, Matt.
It was like the fucking Afghan papers being released and people being vindicated on, like, this war was a waste.
Yeah.
Even though we all knew. Just having the official vindication.
I love the comparison of, I've been waiting for years for you to admit that you were trying to convince me I ate salmon once to the Afghan papers.
That's very fucking good.
Oh, shit. God damn it, Matt. Oh, hell.
The third question, Mr. Matt, have you eaten salmon since?
No, I don't think so.
Big old fuck you to your friends.
I'm never eating salmon again just to fuck with them.
Just turns to ash in your mouth. You're like, oh, this tastes like.
I did do that for a while afterwards, where it's like, I'm never eating salmon again. Like, fuck these guys.
Literal,
I like whitefish better, anyways.
Oh, wow. All right. I see.
A little slice of lemon.
Oh, all right.
Oh, hell. Matt, the way you say it, after you already got done saying, I should have, because of my upbringing, I should be one of those Nazi guys, but I've risen above it. And then you say, I prefer the whitefish.
the segue into D&D, that's why I shouldn't say certain names in Dungeons and Dragons when I don't know how to pronounce it. Because they just come off as like, Bazaboo, like that just sounds like somebody called a black person once.
It's always coming from Matt. So Matt has the problem where he just mispronounces words basically on a daily basis. And sometimes the ways in which he mispronounces them is just the best. Bazaboo being one of the greatest in my mind as far as our history is concerned. I don't even remember the name of the original demon type from D&D that we were referring to. It was like
it's the
it was the Babao demon, and then somehow from Babao you got Bazaboo.
Or Baloney Sith.
Babanshi, Baloney Sith. Yeah, I have to imagine it's intentional with him sometimes, but then I can't. It's not. It's really not. It's just the way he processes things.
Oh yeah.
It's like what's his face from like Carl Pilkington, or I think that was his name.
Pilkington.
Like the idiot. Yeah, the idiot abroad guy.
Yeah,
where it's like.
Oh.
Look, if I was like an actual TV writer or something, and I wrote myself as a character, people would be like, "This is brilliant. This is comedic genius."
You wouldn't even have to try. You just write your actual thoughts.
Yeah, just like got mad today, punched a tree. That's a whole episode.
You are. Yeah, it's just amazing to hear Matt's stories. It's wonderful.
Lost the bet to my nephew, ate 20 caterpillars.
Oh, no!
I really shouldn't take bets. Like, I'm not good at them.
Gosh, you are like the Double Dog Dare personified.
Oh, he is. It's amazing because he always takes bets that he knows he's going to lose to. Like he doesn't even
a little color to his life. Yeah,
he doesn't even try to like hedge it in his favor. He's just like, nah, this I'm starting off with heavy disadvantage here. Oh man. Well, that's a lot of fun stories from Matt's life. We've gone over sort of your career a decent bit. Do you have so you're a big like Hollywood dude, obviously. I say big Hollywood dude.
That's very sweet.
I know. But you know, if you get involved in films and stuff, generally the consensus is that like that the whole community surrounding like getting involved in films and filmography and cinema in general is a very, very interesting, eclectic group.
Absolutely.
That participate in a lot of interesting activities. So just to try and offset Matt's colorful stories, do you have your own? Is my question.
That's a good question. Not really, because anticlimactically, I have social anxiety, so there's not like I don't go to any of the she parties or anything. Like there aren't that many in Atlanta, anyways. But I will say
more about rap parties than like industry part. Well, I guess rap is part of the music industry. It's all industry, I guess.
And it's all very, Atlanta is a huge musical hub. And as you have heard from my enunciation so far in this 38 minutes, I am not invited to such extracurriculars. But I will say that one of the most recent holiday parties that I went to, it was for one of the three biggest agencies in Atlanta, not my fourth biggest, but they had an ice luge. Is that what it's called? Where it's like an ice sculpture and then it had like a plastic tubing through it, and so you can do shots through the ice sculpture.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah. And I pre-gamed with my roommate pretty hard. And then when we went, they were like, oh my God, we're doing Grey Goose shots through it. And I was like, all right, step aside. So I went up and I had like two big old mouthfuls and I took it like a champ. And then one of the literally the biggest commercial casting directors in all of Atlanta, he came up to me afterwards. He's like, hey, Victor, I just wanted to say, during this party, like we talked a little bit and you were very sweet. As being an industry guest, I was given this free drinks bracelet. And then I saw you at that ice sculpture, and I will no longer give you this free drinks bracelet because that was super impressive, but I don't feel comfortable giving you this. And that felt really good.
That's responsible, though. I like that. No. He cares about you. He cares about your well-being. Isn't what you're going too crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun Hollywood story.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an uplifting one, a wholesome one might say.
Yeah, I love it. Yes. Those are the ones I remember.
It's not like I woke up in Harvey Weinstein's basement.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to touch that one at all. Listen, I have a brand to keep in track of. I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah. Matt told me before we got started that he was like making a list of like inappropriate questions. And I'm just like, don't ask him any of that. That's terrible. Don't do that. He's like,
I haven't. I've been a good boy.
You have, sir. You have, and I've
been a good boy. I've asked.
Yeah, you have. You've definitely been way more appropriate here than you have on any other podcast we've ever done.
Then I super appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh man. So
because look, here's my thought process on this, Lundy. Like, it's fine if I drag like everyone on the podcast down.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah.
But somebody who actually has dreams and ambitions and stuff, you can't touch that.
Yeah, Victor's an innocent. He should be treated as such.
You both are very, very sweet, and this has been amazing so far. Thank you. Because you have been so thoughtful, I'll give you this little dingle dangle. That was I shouldn't have said that.
Very strange word.
Yeah, no, that was weird.
A lot. That was a napalm choice.
You will edit that out. So do me a favor, Mr. Lundy. Look at my first 2019 credit IMDb.
The first one is The Righteous Gemstones.
What does it say underneath?
Oh yeah. You were a body double for someone.
Yeah. So I'm the Chad body double. What is that word in the middle of it right there?
Nude body double.
Chad
nude double.
Yes, Chad nude double. So this is a fun story.
On my list of inappropriate things.
Well,
if you're bringing it up, and that's fine then.
Yes. I will open that envelope. So this was a fun story. So The Righteous Gemstones is a Danny McBride HBO feature. It's his third HBO series about toxic masculinity, and this one's about Christianity.
Like the Pat Boone types, right? They're kind of weirdo Christian TV family. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. Yeah. And Danny McBride, his mom was actually a children's pastor, a puppet pastor. So he wanted to approach a TV series about the corruption of the family and not their like demonization or bastardization of like their beliefs in Christianity. Like they're Christians, but they're just shit people. But they're not So I got an email
like that, like the old Peter Popoff types.
Oh yeah. So this was like an interesting new way at looking at Christianity and TV shows and stuff. But I got an email from my agents that was, "Hey Victor, check this out. See if you're interested. If so, let us know. If not, we totally understand." And the title of the email was HBO pilot, full body, full nude. Full frontal nudity, that's what it was. Full frontal nudity body double. And they said in the email of 5'8", 200 pounds, white guy, and the scene involves drug use and scantily clad women. And I was like, you know what? Because I never seriously considered full frontal nudity, because I know for some it's rightfully so. One of their they will never cross that line. Yeah,
it's either a fear or it's a sensitivity thing, or it's just not something that I ever want to be associated with or anything along those lines.
And it's probably something that a lot of people don't think male actors have to deal with all that much.
Yeah. I know it's a deal breaker for some, but me being a hefty guy, I was like, I'm never gonna. And if I was in Game of Thrones, then maybe I'd worry about it. But no, I'm this Beanie Baby filled with nacho cheese, and that's never gonna happen.
I don't think. I think you'd be fine in Game of Thrones, like nude. There are way grosser people naked in that show.
It's a very good point. Emma Stone connection. She was in The Favorite, and there was a guy our size who was pretty much full frontal nudity, and they were throwing oranges at him, I think. And I was like, oh, all right, that's an Oscar award-winning movie, so good for them.
So you know what? If I need some oranges thrown at me in order to...
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
it's a Danny McBride show, like...
Exactly.
You're whip your dang out for anything. Like, there's worse people to do it for.
Yeah, if it was like a non-union short student film, hell no. But it was HBO, which is arguably one of the biggest producers in the whole industry. So I was like, you know what? After everything, like, they will be the safest to do this for. So it felt good. Plus, being pelted with oranges versus drug use and scantily clad hookers, I was like, you know what? I'd rather go with the latter. So I sent in my audition stuff, which was just me in briefs. And then they went, great, you are hired. Show up to Charleston, South Carolina next week. And I was like, oh, shit. And on my drive down there, one of the assistant directors called me. They went, hey, Victor, so we're just going to walk you through a little bit. Here's your hotel information. Here's call sheet information. And do you have any questions? And I was like, yeah, actually. For the hair and makeup department, what is the hair preferences? And then he went, oh, that's a good question. Do you mind if I ask what the hair situation is? And I was like, well, there is hair down there. And then
I love how coy you guys are about it.
Oh, yeah. This was a very...
Like, this is a very professional setting. I don't want to just say, what do you want my pubes to look like?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to ask that. That assistant director didn't want to ask that. But so I went
considerate, because I can see some like prick being like, "Now I'm just gonna show up and like make some poor makeup person have to trim my pubes."
Yeah. Which, I mean, I didn't wake up in 2016 going, all right, in a couple of years, this is what's going to happen. So I went, yeah, well, there's hair down there. And then the assistant director went, oh, fully woolly. Gotcha. I will ask the makeup department. And I was like, you're an assistant director. You can't say that to me. You can't call it fully woolly.
Fully woolly. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
That's amazing.
Oh man, you're so coy in the beginning. You're just like, down there we do have a hair situation, and I just want to know what. So what? Do you have any? Well, yeah, I do have some. Oh, fully woolly, like. Just going full bore into it after playing coy for a good fucking solid minute.
You burst the bubble, dude. Man, we were doing so well. And then he was like, all right, so I'm just going to tell you about your, so it's going to be full frontal, but then, so you're going to have a shirt and some socks. So you'll be Porky Pigging it. I was like, dude.
God damn. He's trying to make it cute so it's not awkward, but like it just ends up getting more awkward.
Yeah.
Also, man. Never wore socks, so this analysis doesn't apply.
That's what I was thinking. I was driving down to South Carolina, and I was like, that's not right. But
hold on, I got to Google Porky Pig here for a second.
Is there a cartoon character who ever like wore socks? And
dear. Oh no, pants? I don't know. No, now you got my head on it. I don't want to be thinking about this. I don't know.
See, now here's the thing. You're thinking about all these cartoon characters and you're thinking about their shirts and socks, but you're also thinking about, private parts going on. So
the only one I can kind of think of, he didn't wear a shirt. He wore tidy whities. But does anybody remember, was it Bob the Cat from Bloom County?
Oh my gosh, yeah. He wore like a diaper, right?
Yeah, he wore like a diaper or underwear, and like he wore socks but no shoes.
The cat, and I'm Google imaging him right now. He wore tidy whities, but then also like shoes sometimes. Yeah.
Oh my god, Matt! Why do you always know these like obscure things?
Great pool, dude.
I had to find some escape in my childhood.
I mean, that's true.
Grandparents loved Bloom County, so if that's
mine did too, and Dewsbury.
Okay. Now mine loved that penguin guy. Good old Opus. Yeah, that's his name.
I don't have that sort of a connection. As far as my parents are concerned, they never really cared for any sort of like television, cartoons, anything. I just read Sunday comics from the newspaper, and whatever was on in the morning before I went to school. They had no idea what the hell I was watching. I could have been watching anything, and they weren't paying attention.
My aunt had she used to when I was a little kid, she worked at a Doubleday book printing place, so there was just a ton of surplus Doubleday books in my grandparents' house, and a lot of them were comic book collections of Doonesbury and Bloom County.
Hell yeah!
I had a Calvin and Hobbes collection that I inherited from my brother. It was the full multi-year collection of all of the works. It was several thick books, and I remember reading through it. But when I was reading through them, I was 12, Like, it didn't occur to me until way later in life. Calvin and Hobbes goes over a lot of stuff that I'm not going to understand at that age.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh yeah, like one of them say like the fucking the robbery arc.
I don't know that. I don't remember that.
Like, yeah, like, so Calvin and his parents, like, go off on, like, vacation, and while they're off on vacation, their house gets, like, burgled. And,
oh, yeah.
And, like, it's like a multi-week thing with Calvin Dillon with, like, having, like, his trust and, like, safety zone, like, being violated. And it's like, there aren't even kid shows that deal with this. Like, and not to knock, like, because they made some, like, strides in, like, dealing with darker issues, but it's like that thing always stood out to me, partially because at one point, like, my house was robbed by, like, one of my dad's awful junkie friends.
Oh, jeez.
So it's something that you could personally relate to. It's always fun. I love seeing the sort of like advancement of cartoons and comics and stuff that is actually like tackling more difficult subjects in a much more like nuanced and sometimes kid friendly ways even. Adventure Time and Regular Show come to mind. Obviously. Steven Universe comes to mind. Definitely.
Yeah. There's like sexual identification and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It's been extremely helpful for, I think, an entire generation of kids to be able to look at that sort of thing, and adults, honestly. I feel like most of the fans of that are somewhere between the ages of like 16 to 23 or something, because they just didn't have that when they were kids, so now they're latching on to it. It's interesting to see this sort of like
it is funny that like television is pushing a lot more of the bounds now. I guess it's because like film have to worry about like, oh, we can't have a gay kiss in Star Wars that we can't edit around because we got to sell to like X country and Z country, and they ignore that.
Yeah, there's a little bit more artistic freedom being given, and I think part of that has to do with the fact that we're sort of in a weird gray period of where we even get our media from. Watching TV is very minor these days compared to what it was like not even 5-10 years ago. You have all these streaming services that are all competing for attention, and like the topics of the day are all essentially very progressive ones and stuff like that. So these are things that need to be addressed.
What got me thinking about this is this rumors again swirling around like, oh, they're going to do a live action, big theatrical Steven Universe movie. And it's like, I just think about it. It's like, how are you going to edit around like all of that undertone? Like that's subtext in Steven Universe. Like you can't. Unless they're just not going to release that movie in China.
Or if they just completely and totally screw up the entire premise of the show. They could do that too.
Yeah, they could do an Avatar.
It's something that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I looked into Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action movie, and apparently, it was supposed to be a lot more loyal to the show originally. But then producers got a hold of it and were like, no, let's take this out, let's take this out, let's take this out, let's cast all white people for all the roles that have darker skinned characters. We're gonna take out all of the sort of references to anything that might be seen as political. We're going to. It's not good to have them this emotional about this thing. A lot of it had to do with the producers of the movie as opposed to its initial direction.
Yeah,
I don't think it would have been like a great movie without that interference, but I think it probably would have been way better than it was.
That's the problem with being a director. Like you get the lion's share of the credit for good or ill.
Yeah, good point.
Even though movie making is like a hugely collaborative thing, but directors are seen as like the figureheads.
Yeah, they're like the quote unquote presidents of whatever movie comes out. So everything is their fault. Oh God, that is such a thing. I would never. This is the thing. So I myself, I'm a bit of a theater guy as well. But I generally just do it for funsies. I do like volunteer theater work, and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, if I ever had somebody say, yeah, so if you want to do an audition, you can go ahead and send the video in, I would immediately think that that's not going to work out for me. Like, I just don't have any confidence in any way.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you say, well, yeah, you for a lot of the audition stuff, you're going to be sending in reels and footage and stuff like that. I'm like, because I think of it from, I guess, my own personal perspective, that if I were to make something, that I would want to meet someone in person if they're going to audition. So if I'm not going to meet somebody in person to audition, I think I was probably a lost cause. Similarly, I just don't have the confidence to make my own show or anything along those lines either, because I think that it would just end up inevitably not being what I want it to be. And even if it is what I want it to be, who's to say whether or not anybody actually would relate or care about it or find it interesting in any fashion. So like, I'm just like crippled with like self-doubt and actually advancing beyond where I am as far as theater is concerned.
Well, you have the makings.
Amazing to me.
Yeah. Well, you have the makings of a performance artist with crippling self-doubt. So congratulations.
Oh, that's fair enough.
You've made it.
I have noticed, I don't know if this is something that's like something that you've come across before. For some reason, extremely beautiful people who are involved in media do not accept that they are in any way attractive. They and not just like they're trying to like maintain a sense of like humbleness, but they actively think that they're ugly.
Well, being a 4 out of 10 myself, unfortunately, I do know a lot of people who are absolutely gorgeous. They're handsome to the nines, and they do have some self-image problems, which is a huge like everyone else knows they're gorgeous and beautiful, but it's part of one of the warts on this industry where unfortunately a lot of the most beautiful people feel that they need to be more beautiful, or they just feel that they're never enough, even though they absolutely are. And it's part of my growth, actually, where I have, this is, the takeaway home message. It's to love myself, and that I am enough. And I feel that a lot of my friends and coworkers and colleagues, they are enough. And then sometimes they don't think that, because in this industry there is so much rejection. And I would argue that we are the second most surface, most superficial industry in the world. The first, I would argue, being models. Like, there's so much worth, like self-worth and value, that we depend on others telling us if we're good or not, only because we're like 2 inches shorter than the lead in the movie or something, or like our skin isn't dark enough to pair up with this other person that they already cast. So people depend so much on being cast for just the silliest reasons. And that unfortunately like equates to not being good enough in general. And part of the huge relief that I felt as a professional working actor is that I understand. I heard the story about a director not casting someone because the director was reminded of their ex in that actor auditioning. So yeah, it's so silly like that. Or like the 2 inches, like where it has absolutely nothing to do with your talent, but unfortunately, like, there's so many things out of your control, and one of the most the biggest things that is in your control is your own self-worth. So I am blessed, and I'm fortunate to have a huge self-worth. Like, I know that I'm hilarious. I have the potential and longevity to have a decades-long career as a character actor, because like, I don't have to worry about poundage. Like, I have this great typecast of big hair and big beard. And I am excited about all my opportunities, and it's a hard lesson to learn, but I think it's one of the biggest and most important ones.
See, Matt, that's what you got to do. You got to start actually.
Come down to Atlanta. We'll audition for the same stuff.
Oh God, I'm trying to imagine Matt actually auditioning for something. I'm just imagining Matt like going over a line and like fucking up the pronunciation of a word, and then like the casting director being like, "What did you just say?" And he repeats it, and then they're like, "No, that's not the word." And Matt just like punches the table. It's just like, "Fuck this!" He just leaves.
Zombilandier.
And then the casting director's like, that's the kind of passion we're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a series regular lead with your name on it. Yeah,
I need somebody who's willing to punch a table out of nowhere, all right?
We're looking to cast Jackass 5, and you're our man. Matt,
I used to do a Jackass thing. Also backyard wrestling.
My God.
I was the polar bear. That was my nom de plume.
I never heard this story. You were the polar bear?
Yeah, because backyard wrestling, extremely stupid people do it. I'm no exception. I was called the polar bear because my signature match was the frozen pole match.
Oh my God! There was a stripper's pole in the middle of the ring.
And yeah, I would wrestle people on top of frozen poles and just pile drive them right through the fucking ice.
Oh my God!
Really surprised I didn't kill myself or somebody else.
Well, that's backyard wrestling in a nutshell. Really surprised that nobody didn't die. Oh man. All right. I don't want to do what we normally do with these podcasts, which is to go for too long, fizzle out, and not know what the hell we're doing anymore until like
leave on a high note.
All of the magic is just gone. So I'll go ahead and say we should probably wrap it up there. Thanks, by the way, Vic, for coming on. It's been,
gentlemen,
a lot of fun.
This was a pleasure. You both are super eloquent, and this was. I came in with low expectations, and you both exceeded it just exponentially. So thank you both.
We need to start some more people to do that.
Disaster.
Just listen to us with low expectations, and you'll be fine.
No, it's like I don't know what's gonna go on.
Fuck! I gotta tell Goat to have that as our tagline. Listen with low expectations. But yeah, thank you for coming. I appreciate you giving us the time of day. I think we've had a decent bit of what we were looking for as far as this is concerned. I'm glad that Matt was able to make it for this.
Oh yes, thank you, Matt. This was the whole premise. So
also, I'm not the one who's missed the last 3 podcasts.
Listen, I work night shifts, okay, and
you work on excuses, and
sometimes I can't get to sleep during the day. All right, it's just how it works.
And I'm a degenerate druggie.
He has all the time in the world, so
that's true.
So all you have to do, Matt, is to come to Atlanta, and you can pretty much do the same thing with a few auditions thrown in. So. There you go.
Yeah, and you know what? That's just something extra to do. You know, you're always like somewhat bored. You know? Just
I could play like pro statue protester number 3 in something.
Hell yeah, exactly. Oh, I got some good background stories, but I'll save it for the next episode.
Of course.
Yeah, this actually went so good. I'm like, part 2.
We need to have Vic back.
Yeah. Learn what happened when I got on set for The Righteous Gemstones. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, that would be a great teaser.
Yeah, we did go off on a weird tangent about cartoons.
Yeah, but isn't that literally what we always do?
Right.
Whenever one of us wants to do something, the rest of us just end up going off on different freaking topics and concepts. We never stick to the same topic for more than like 5 minutes before we end up going elsewhere.
Unless it's a great Antonio, or that time we found all your old Newground posts.
Oh dear God, you guys are assholes. I hate you so much.
I love it.
Oh man, that just long story short, Victor. When I was 14 through 16, I was a teenage edgelord on the internet, and there's evidence of it. Lots of it.
I need to look up what an edgelord is. This is exciting.
He was very successful. He had a secretary.
Right,
I was one of those guys who would just say I own a business, and like I'm 25 years old, even though I'm 14. And
Amazing.
God, so cringy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording there, yeah, we'll go ahead and keep in contact and see if there's like another time in the future that we can do this that might be good for you.
Amazing.
That sounds good.
Thank you both, gentlemen. You were a pleasure to talk to.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, I got to talk to Go to figure out how to work on the Craig bot because he's the only one who knows how to do this.
All right. You both have a great evening.
Yep, you as well, Victor.
Matt, follow your dreams. You got it, buddy. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, genuine kindness I don't like.
Well, tough shit, because I'm that.
It goes back to that, because it's like, it does not compute.
I don't know what to do with my hands, but I don't know what to do with my emotions. So, no, I feel you.
Yeah, basically.
I am very much like, if spirit animals were real, mine would be like a dog that's been abused for like most of its life, and then it gets one kind owner and then dies.
Oh no!
God. Matt, your analogies are always so sad.
It's pretty spot on, though. That's great.
Like the dog just gets like a warm bed once, and it's like, now this is a good death.
Oh God!
Oh, here you go. This is being a little earthy crunchy, but Matt, do you know what your love language is? There are 5 love languages.
No, I don't.
Okay, because words of affirmation is mine, but it sounds to not be yours. There's also physical touch, acts of service, quality time, and gifts. So maybe you just don't connect with words of affirmation at all, but maybe one of the other 4. And
would definitely be like personal time spent. Definitely, yeah. That's you, Matt. Like it's the only thing that you draw any sort of value from when it comes to anybody that you're acquainted with. It's just spending a decent amount of time with them.
Yeah,
and that's valid. It's different. So like that now you're one step closer to figuring stuff out. So there you go.
I don't know where my chronic need of not being a bother plays into it.
Oh, that's just life.
We'll save those.
Yeah, that's just being you. Save those for next time as well. Jesus, there was actually a lot we didn't go over. Come to think of it. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and hop off.
Again, thank you both, guys. Yes, it was fantastic. Thank you.
What if you just kick Craig? Would that work?
I don't think it does. I'm going to go talk to Goat. I think he will have a better idea. I'm going to go over and talk to him and see if he knows what the hell it's supposed to be doing.